Waiting for the Scarif Scuttlebutt podcast. I have the YouTubes on one screen. Remember, the rebellion will be televised.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Hello, everybody, and hello, Brad. Brad, it's like it's 2019 again.
Yeah.
Glad
The
to have
thrill is
you on.
back, baby.
Yes.
The thrill is
Glad
back.
to have you. Glad to have you. What's up, friends in the chat? We got people slowly coming in. Semper Fi Danny, hello. Lunar Girl, Kelly, how's it going? We have a really cool show tonight. We're going to talk about some stuff that just came out. Brad, you have always said that it is such a good time to be a nerd. Isn't that right? Do you still feel that way?
Yeah, I mean, you guys can take all your overload and shove it. I'll take all the geek stuff. You guys can complain about it later. We got comic book shows coming out. We got Star Wars coming out.
Yeah.
We got Stranger Things coming out. There's all kinds of celebrations going on right now. Conventions all over the place.
Absolutely.
You know, a lot of the restrictions are getting lessened right now, so people can be themselves again. And it's a real good time to be a geek, to celebrate who we are.
It definitely is. And I heard on another one of our Red 5 podcasts that May is probably the month, the best month to be a geek. You just mentioned Celebration. We've got Star Wars Celebration coming up real soon. Single digits, isn't that correct?
Yep. So we got Star Wars Celebration coming up this week. Obviously May 25th, the actual Star Wars day, as you and I say. So we got some big stuff coming up on May 25th as well.
Yeah, I'm very excited for May 25th for obvious reasons. I'm going to be wearing my May 25th, 1977 t-shirt. That's one, right? And I'm also going to we have a special interview that we did a couple of weeks ago that I'm very excited to drop. It'll be live, but it'll be presented live, but we pre-recorded.
It'll be live 3 weeks later.
3 weeks later. But we have Jimmy Mack from Rebel Force Radio and fellow Chicagoan. He's been attending every year the Scarif cons when we have them here in Chicago. Obviously, we're both local. So it's very exciting. We're going to talk about being fans, but we have there's a certain generational thing. I was just kind of scrolling through that interview, and he does come up with some very interesting topics, and really can't wait to share that.
I'll tell you what, you Chicagoans, is that the right word? Y'all can talk now. I mean, I just kind of sat back and relaxed and let you two talk it out, and I got a question in every about 23 and a half minutes.
Yeah, you got to remember that. You got to remember that Jimmy Mack comes from the radio world, and I come from the television world. We like to talk, yada yada yada. So it's a little marriage made in heaven there, but very nice. So May 25th, we got that going on. We also have we've got 2 Scarif lives. So the later one is the Jimmy Mack interview, but then a couple of hours before that, we are going to be talking Star Wars on May 25th with the Wikipedia people. I don't know who's coming.
Some bot. I think it's going to be a bot. We're going to be discussing, or I guess a droid in this case. So Ro texted me the other day. He's like, is this a big deal, this Wikipedia? They said, hey, let's come on the show. Or I guess some of our followers recommended that they come on Scarif.
Yeah.
I'm like, so I about, jumped out of my shoes because, I mean, that is, if you search for anything Star Wars related on the internet, on Google or whichever search engine, Wikipedia is going to be the page that pops up first for that. And they've been doing it for quite a while. And they do a lot of work keeping that thing updated. With because there's so much canon out there, so they have a section for both canon and for legends, and they do their best to keep that thing as updated as possible. So I'm really looking forward to that conversation with whomever it is,
whoever shows up. Absolutely. Yeah. May 25th. We've got a couple of things brewing for the evening. I think I don't know if you're available, but I'd like to do some some Twitter lives just to kind of keep the momentum going. But speaking of spirits and momentums going, we have Blake from Dork Wars podcast backstage. We love to have our friends come on and chat nerd stuff, but let's bring him on. I want to talk a little news with him, and he can lend us a comment or two. Blake, my friend, how are you?
Doing good, man. And I don't only get 2 comments, right? Just 2?
I don't know. More than
you want to go to war, Balake?
Oh my gosh.
It never gets old. Never gets old.
Never gets old. So how are you guys tonight?
Fantastic. Thanks for joining us.
Of course. Also joining us, as always, Dave, thank you for showing up in the chat. We greatly appreciate you tuning in from across the pond. Also, Tina, we thank you for being in the chat. Thank you guys for spending your Saturday night with us. I don't think we'd have it any other way. We have such a great conversation.
Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah. So let's before we get into this main topic, I just want to talk to you guys a little bit about some nerd news. Blake, a little while ago, Brad and I were talking about how wonderful it is to be nerds this very month of May. We got Celebration right around the corner. We've got Kenobi. It is here, brother. Kenobi is here.
I know.
It's right there.
T-minus what?
Smell it.
6 days.
Yeah, that absolutely. But we got some other news brewing. We've got some other things coming. Stranger Things is coming. Are you a big Stranger Things fan?
Oh, I've loved Stranger Things since it came out, man. I wasn't born in the 80s, but like I can feel the nostalgia, even though I'm not from
Neither
that
were
time.
we. Neither were we, for the record. So
I mean, I wasn't born in the 80s, but I lived it.
Yeah. What's your favorite season? What's your favorite season of Stranger Things?
Oh, see, they gotta be the first or the second for sure.
It
may have to be the first.
Yeah.
It was okay. It was great. It was still great television.
Yeah.
But that first season was just out of this world. It was unexpected. And I think that's how a lot of these shows that do so well, it's the first season's what grabs you. I mean, it really is, at least for me most of the time. But I don't think they've, I don't know, that second season was pretty good too, but I really enjoyed that first season.
Did you see the trailer for season 4? It looks like it's gonna be pretty
it's gonna get out there.
I think it's supposed to be dark as well.
Yeah.
Are you have you ever played Dungeons and Dragons? Here's where you really reveal your nerd card if you
Oh no.
How about you, Ro?
I have.
Oh yeah.
Ro, you played?
I've played Dungeons and Dragons in my high school years. Yeah, we had a
when it first came out.
Okay. Sure. Okay, Brad.
Well, there's a few of us dorks on Dork Wars who play quite regularly. There was a session last night with 2 of our dorks, Diedrich and Andrew. I have not gotten into the D&D. When I was growing up, I didn't really like. I didn't have anyone around that did it, And now that I would, have people around that do it, I don't have the time. So I would love to get involved and do some. But
here's my issue, and then we've talked about this in the past, like with Star Wars. We used to be the not cool kids, for liking Star Wars, and we had our own little, circle of friends, which was family to us. And D&D was kind of that last, bastion of nerddom. But now it's, for all intents and purposes, kind of mainstream as well. So I'm a little pissed about that. We were doing this shit way before it was popular, way before it was cool to do it.
Yeah.
And now with Critical Role and all these other YouTube shows, I mean it's mainstream now.
Look, I tell you what, I use the term roll a nat 20, and
there you go.
I've never even rolled one. Never even rolled one.
That's hilarious.
Well, it's a great feeling when you do. Let me tell you.
I want to give a quick shout out to our friend Amanda Lorian. She's watching us on her big screen, on her new big screen.
Gosh.
So everybody wave. Woohoo, Amanda. Yeah. Thank you so
I've never
much.
been a television star before.
I know. Oh, Amanda, do me a favor. Why don't you screenshot a shot of us and then post it and then tag us? We would love to see your big screen. I don't know if you want to do something silly, or I know the inside the booth guys do this little heart thing or a butterfly. I don't know what the hell they do, but let's all wave to
bottom
Amanda.
of the heart. So.
Yeah, let's wave to Amanda. Woo!
I got to get on camera. I don't.
There you go. Awesome.
All
right. We got some people coming in. Megan is here. Hello there, Megan. Quick announcement. She has been gearing up and getting prepared for Star Wars Celebration Anaheim, and I am really excited. She's going to be our boots on the ground at Star Wars Celebration. She is ready to go and equipped with all the necessary accoutrements to provide not only us, but I think whoever wants it in the Red 5 to have some interviews, to talk to people on the floor, and we're gonna try to do a couple of shows live and include some of those interviews with
also
with
I want her to take as many pictures with cosplayers as possible and see how much of the Star Wars universe she can get on camera with.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. We had a soft run of that on Dork Wars a couple, I think on May 4th. Ro was on, and man, I tell you what, those cosplayers were a little shy out there.
Yeah. It's like, no, I'm camera shy. I'm like, are you serious?
That's weird.
Yeah. We got Joker Voice in the chat. Last week we chatted with him on camera. Moon Knight, we had a little Moon Knight discussion. Joker Voice, thank you very much for stopping by.
We can't all love Moon Knight as much as Joker Voice, but we enjoy it.
We can do it in stages. Kimberly is in there. Kim, so glad that you are feeling better. Let's see who else is in there. We got a lot of folks. Thank you guys for Dragon Buddies in there. Awesome. What other news? Did you guys hear that Disney Plus is actually going to pull the trigger and produce a new Daredevil series? What do you think of that?
Sure. I never watched the last one. Ben Affleck ruined it for me. Not his fault. That was the writers and the directors. And
the new series erases all that from existence and from your mind.
I always just thought that Matt Murdock was one of the most boring Marvel characters, except for like Kevin Smith did a good run on Daredevil. There's a couple good runs of Daredevil, but I couldn't care less about the character myself. So we'll see.
Yeah,
I'm interested. Okay. I like the grittier Netflix series. Yeah. I like the grittier Netflix series. And it's the same actors, right? I think
supposedly, yeah. Now that he was introduced in Spider-Man: No Way Home, the floodgates are open to include them. And I really enjoyed the Netflix Daredevil series. One of the top rated streaming shows on Netflix for the Marvel area. Some of them didn't hit as well as Daredevil did. We had The Punisher, which also was gritty. One of the things you said that it's great to have something gritty on Disney Plus, but I'm wondering how they're going to do it. Daredevil got really gritty and bloody. Obviously, Punisher did as well. Yeah. I'm not sure if they're going to go that route, but it would be interesting to see, and I guess we will find out how much Disney Plus is going to push the envelope. And of course, I think there are parental controls on Disney Plus. I accidentally set them up, and every time I go, I have to type. I'm like, oh, come on, man. But
the same thing, Ru.
We'll see.
Joker's Voice says, as always, looking forward to Disney Plus content.
Well, my only question about this is it a continuation of the Netflix series, or is it its own thing? I don't know, but
I'm hoping it's a continuation. We don't want to start from scratch again. Just to give us, just keep it going. Just keep it going. And speaking of keeping it going, I don't know. I don't have a segue for keeping it going, but I just wanted to get to the next.
Going past the Skywalker saga.
Oh yeah, keep it going past the Skywalker saga. So we're going to touch a little bit about that, but before that, I want to make sure that folks, we're talking about festivals and geeking out. This July 23rd, a whole bunch of us from the Red 5 Network, we're going to be in Chicago for ScarifCon 2022, the fourth annual get-together fan meetup, Red 5 Network. We're all going to be there at Murray's Caddy Shack in Rosemont, along with our friend Dominic Pace. And I just want to show you guys. He is obviously promoting his first licensed product of
how come everybody's getting those things but me? What the crap? You got one. Jimmy Mack got one. Where the hell is mine?
Beautiful. Well,
that's amazing.
And yeah, we're gonna put some alcohol in there for sure. But yeah, that's what it's for, man. But yeah, he'll have a couple of these available for purchase. He'll be able to sign them and hang out at I almost said Alley Cats. The last 3 years we've had it at Alley Cats, but this time it's Murray's Caddy Shack restaurant in Rosemont, Illinois, July 23rd. We're going to be having kind of a red carpet live event podcast from 2 to 5 or whenever we end. And we're going to have drinks and food and hang out with fans. The 501st are going to be there. A lot of Red Fivers are going to travel to Chicago to be there. We're just kind of a fun time. There will be a Red 5 house. So, sponsored by Jedi Temple Archives and Conversations. We're going to hang out there.
We're getting our own house.
There's going to be a Red 5 house.
Permanently?
No, not permanently.
Because
that sounds like an MTV show, honestly.
Like the real world, except when Red Fivers stop being polite.
Rob is going to be on his best behavior. He's going to be doing some special TikTok
Rob doesn't
dances.
have a best behavior.
Oh man!
So Megan, not only do you need to wear your ScarifCon shirt to Celebration, you need to go with all the stickers for all the Red 5 shows, and everybody better get at least 8 stickers from all the Red 5 shows.
That's right.
And it's going to be a fun time. There's a lot of cool little shops and events in and around that area. There's all sorts of stuff that we're going to have a lot of fun. Bring your Dramamine because we're not going to sleep.
What
is that?
That's not
Dramamine makes you drowsy, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I don't do drugs. Stay away from drugs.
Another little Scarif can't fix, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know, man. That seemed a little too on the nose there. Like you're trying to convince everybody you're not doing drugs. I mean,
All right. Amanda's here. What's up, Amanda? Did I hope you saw us give you a little shout out in the big screen.
You got that picture. Yeah.
And who else is in there? Anyways, all right. Main topic. So, did you guys read the Vanity Fair article?
I did.
Why are those articles so damn long? Get to the point.
It's interesting. I like that they were long. I actually didn't think it was going to be that long, but I kept on reading and I'm like, they're still talking. They're still talking. Yeah.
Yeah.
What were some of the biggest points? I'll start with Brad. What are some of the biggest tidbits or aha moments that you took away from the article?
That people will cry about anything and everything. Somebody states the obvious and everybody loses their shit over it. We'll get into it more. I didn't think it was nearly as controversial.
Mm-hmm.
It was good to see that they, once again mentioned that the Rogue Squadron movie, which I'm still praying they don't jack up completely. because I have a feeling they are, contrary to what they've said. Looks like Ahsoka's coming out next year. No? Yeah. I guess that's a pushback from before. It sounded like you got pushback.
I can't keep the date. I can't keep the dates straight anymore.
Yeah, we'll get into what KK was said in there. I don't think it was nearly as. I don't see why people lost their shit over that. We talked about it the other day over text, but yeah. I didn't think there was any huge. I mean, it was the schedule of upcoming shows and stuff like that, but I didn't think there was any huge takeaways from it personally.
Well, I think some of the biggest takeaways were how people interpreted Kathleen Kennedy's quotes regarding Solo. And obviously there was mention of Rian Johnson's trilogy that she used the word backburned. And, obviously people are jumping all over that. But
anytime Rian Johnson and backburned are using the same sentence, I'm okay with backburner.
But yeah, Blake, what do you think? What were some of the big takeaways for you?
Well, I mean, if you look just right here, and you can see a partial photo of Ahsoka, the Mandalorian, Din Djarin, Obi-Wan, and you cut out Andor, which is fine. But I mean, they look like they're gonna drop the hottest mixtape in the galaxy far, far away.
It's gonna be
like, I'm telling you what, man. And just that title, The Rebellion on TV. We're gonna get this whole fleshed out story, and I think it's funny that he used Rebellion and then put the Mandalorian on the cover and Ahsoka, because those two shows are not going to take place during the Rebellion very much, I don't think. But yeah, I think the cover was really cool. But as far as the content of the article, you have Kathleen Kennedy pretty much saying like, yeah, that sequel trilogy just kind of went around in circles. Like I think it's funny that they kind of, I don't know if it was Vanity Fair that insinuated this or whatever, but it seems like they kind of backpedaled on a sequel trilogy, which is something that they have been hot for not doing. They've just been like, no, it was great. It was great stuff. And we're going to continue it, blah, 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 blah. And I do think they're going to continue it, but they did kind of admit, hey, we had JJ come in and do the first one. It was a good, solid film. We went to the next one with Rian Johnson. He took it a whole different direction. And then the article says that it U-turned. It U-turned to the Rise of Skywalker, where JJ took the reins late in the game and pretty much just undid everything from the second movie. So we got a confirmation of that. Like you guys said, the Rian Johnson backburner comment was gold, I guess. I'd kind of figured it. What this article really did was confirm a lot of suspicions and rumors, I think. It really kind of just came out and said, look, this is what we're all thinking and feeling. And you guys are right. Rian Johnson's not doing his thing anymore. Rogue Squadron's far off in the future. We're going to hope to get to it. And here's our shows coming out: Obi-Wan, Andor, The Mandalorian Season 3, and Ahsoka. That's kind of what I got out of this article.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in the chat really excited about Andor, and that gives me goosebumps. I'm very happy about that. I think out of all these shows, and obviously, we've got some major players here that look fantastic. By the way, look at Vader. Oh, yeah. Holy snaps!
And someone mentioned Mon Mothma in the. I mean, I always forget her name. Her name's in the article, but she's just, she's an incredible actress. She's an incredible voice actress as well. And I think she's going to do a great job, especially they said they were going to parallel her story because she never gets enough attention as well. And, if in the literature, unfortunately, the only books that cover anything with Mon Mothma are the after, the freaking Chuck Wendig's Aftermath series.
Oh, yeah.
And so she doesn't get nearly enough credit for what she did for the Rebellion. So I hope it really shows, her. Number one, I wish we've talked about this before. I wish they had never deleted those scenes from episode 3, where they
somebody said, really, "What if we see them?"
the birth of the rebellion. That would be, Mandalorian. Oh, we're gonna some back to flashbacks.
Yeah.
We talked about being gritty earlier. If Andor is not gritty, I think it's going to fall flat. Based off what Cassian said to Jyn Erso in Rogue One, talking about the shit that they did, saboteurs, assassins, based off that comment to her, if this show is not gritty, Rogue One was gritty in that we actually see somebody from the rebellion shoot somebody in cold blood, at the very beginning of the movie, which was Cassian.
That set the stage for a lot of.
So if this show is not gritty, then it's definitely going to fall flat, I think.
The production designer for Chernobyl, which was a really great looking streaming show, and I think that was on. Was that on HBO?
That was HBO.
Yeah. That production designer that did the work on Chernobyl is doing Andor, and I found that very relieving. I think you're right. I think Andor has to be gritty. I think Andor has to have a certain look, because it is going to be. I want them to continue. I guess, well, not continue, but I want them to kind of really showcase the rebellion in that way. We've always, we grew up thinking that the rebellion were the good guys, so absolutely, and the bad guys were with the Empire. And I think it's kind of cool that we're getting this little gray area here with the rebellion. Especially because obviously, Brad, we did that show way back when on Saw Gerrera.
Yep.
And we picked apart his character and examined some of his motivations. He was kind of a rogue rebellion agent, which did things to an extreme, and it's something that the rebellion proper just did not like. They were not into that, and I would love to see some sort of relationship between those types of rebellions, the rebels, versus the type of rebels that Mon Mothma is responsible for. I think there's going to be such a great opportunity for those two characters to mix it up a little bit. I'm super stoked.
Yeah, I think the words I used were the Bin Laden of the Rebel Alliance.
Right. Yeah.
But do we know if General Draven is? Have they talked about him being on the show?
I'm not sure,
because I thought he did
a lot of stuff under wraps.
Yeah,
especially Andor.
Yeah, I don't know if that's on purpose or what. I guess it is with Disney, but I hope General Draven's, because I thought he was really good. Everybody's saying, "Hey, bring in Galen Erso for questioning and for testimony," and he's like, "Kill that asshole." So I hope General Draven is on the show as well. That will add some flavor to it as well.
Absolutely. You mentioned, and I know the chat has been mentioning the Rian Johnson situation. I know Joker Voice joked around about the word.
You can't have this picture up and not say something about that. That is a freaking beautiful picture right there.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
Who's that's not Obi-Wan over there though, is it? Or
that's Obi-Wan's. It's probably his stunt double.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Old Hayden on stage 16. Yeah, it's a beautiful image. And obviously Annie Leibovitz, she's been doing the Vanity Fair Star Wars covers and photo shoots for a long time. Who else has all of the other Vanity Fair Star Wars issues? I've got them in a box somewhere, I'm sure. Brad, I know you have a couple, no?
Oh yeah, I definitely have some of those. So I know we're skipping around a little bit, and we still got a few key points to talk about. But one of the questions that's been thrown around about the Obi-Wan series, it's the big question that we've been talking about. I was one of the first ones to say, "Oh, they're only going to show Anakin / Darth Vader in flashbacks or something like that."
Yeah.
But now that they've all but confirmed that they are fighting in this. There is going to be Obi-Wan Darth Vader fight scene in this. Does that muddle or muddy the waters as far as what was said on the Death Star in Episode 4? When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master.
Yeah.
It was assumed that was in reference to 20 years prior. Now now I think this is 10 years. I think this is splitting the difference. So does that lessen the impact of that line, or what do you guys think?
So
I don't think so.
From what the article says, it looks like, and actually this is another bright spot for the article for me, is when they're talking about Chow and Hayden Christensen talking, and talking about how this is really going to define the dialogue in A New Hope. Like, they are taking the dialogue from A New Hope and expounding on that in this series. So it seems like they're really going to pay attention to the canon of what was said, and I think that some things are kind of left. It's a little weird when you watch A New Hope and Darth Vader's like, I haven't felt that presence since, and he just trails off, and it's just left blank, and everyone's like, oh yeah, he's talking about when he cut his limbs to pieces, and now he's,
but I mean, it was left open. It was left open. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that this could add some depth, because I don't know. When you watch A New Hope, and obviously the prequels weren't completely fleshed out and written yet, we know that. And I think they can add some emotion, some more emotional impact to that relationship between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan. Not Anakin and Obi-Wan, but Darth Vader and Obi-Wan.
I think it was even Kathleen who said it in the article about them having that relationship of brothers, and that making it that much more powerful. That every time these guys fight, it's a sibling rivalry, and that makes it that much more powerful.
And that's personally going to be one of my favorite things to see. I'm so excited to see the interaction. Maybe not even the fighting. I think the fighting is going to be cool, but I just think the interaction between these two characters is what's going to drive this thing for me.
And I think, we saw their relationship develop in the Clone Wars series, the animated series, and that was all fine and well. But, we've got Hayden coming back, and Ewan McGregor coming back to replay these iconic characters in the prequels. I don't think we're ready for this. I think it's going to be an emotional track, and obviously, these characters mean a lot to a lot of people that grew up in that era. Blake, how old were you when the prequels came out?
I was 7 years old when Phantom Menace came out. And I remember, man, the hype was, as a kid, like all the new Star Wars stuff coming out. And it was cool to live in a time where Star Wars was coming out with new content when I was so young. I mean, I got those cool little lightsabers with the light up stuff in them. And I remember when the Darth Maul lightsaber came out.
Did you get the microchip reader?
Yep. I had the microchip reader. I had all that, had all the little figures that came with it. But the Darth Maul lightsaber, I had that. I bought that from Walmart. That was amazing. That was so cool when that came out. I beat my cousins over the face with that so many times. You can ask Grant if you're ever on Dork Wars again. You can ask Grant about that.
But see, that's interesting because I was your age, Blake, but during the original trilogy. And obviously, we talked about it with Jimmy Mack. Everybody's got their own Star Wars that has brought them into the fandom. Obviously, the prequels are one. And just really looking forward to it. I want to point out real fast, and this will get somebody pissed off, but Kathleen Kennedy is wearing Han Solo pants. See the blood stripes? See the blood stripes?
But on this picture here, one of my favorite parts, I think it was near the beginning of the article, was talking about Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. I guess having not worked together before, and they were both had ideas for a Mandalorian series that they were working on, and then I think they said they set them up a play date were the words they used in the article.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Can you imagine being in the room with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni brainstorming?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that would have been ridiculous.
Absolutely. Wow.
Yeah, that would have been powerful. Those guys, they've put so much story out there that really just makes the movies better. I mean, Clone Wars, Rebels, The Mandalorian. their influence in the Star Wars universe is it's felt. I mean, it's felt on a level almost as much as George Lucas now. I mean, as much story and lore as they've put into the canon of Star Wars. And these two guys, man, are great.
The Order 66 scenes from that last season of Clone Wars that they did. Mm-hmm. Holy crap. Seeing that from another and seeing Ahsoka's reaction to it and Darth Maul feeling it, because Darth Maul saw it coming all along. Spoiler alert for if you're in this chat and you haven't seen that, I don't know why you're in this chat. But I mean, those scenes, seeing it from a different angle, and then now we know that Yoda and Obi-Wan just slashed through every single clone that they saw on Coruscant. Meanwhile, Ahsoka's like, I'm not killing these guys. Mm-hmm. It's not like, and then adding, like you said, Blake, adding all that to the lore of what, I mean, I always thought that Order 66 is one of the most poignant parts of all of the Star Wars saga. And even now, like I hear the music playing, and Yoda dropping his cane and grabbing his heart, and then they went and add all this stuff to it. Like, holy cow! Like, they keep adding to that moment, and it's just one of the most terrifying.
And it's never too much.
No.
Yeah, and it's never too much. I mean, you think, well, you can play out a moment to death, and you just cannot play that moment to death the way that they're doing it. And I think you're right, Brad. I like seeing Ahsoka say, look, I'm not going to kill these guys. I served with them. They are my friends. They're my companions. It's not my way to do it. I think it's funny here because Ahsoka is really more of a Jedi than the Jedi. So,
the one that left the Order.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, 100%. That's another podcast, I'm sure. That
well, we did the Ahsoka podcast a while ago, and we I mean,
at least might be time for another one.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't.
Yeah, it might be.
I admitted I couldn't stand her when I couldn't stand the Snips and Sky Guy stuff. Like, it just made me cringe. And then, hands down, one of the best characters. And God, I wish he had been trained by Qui-Gon. Can you imagine that Jedi? That would have been
I agree.
Amazing.
And how cool is it going to be? I think, the sequel trilogy obviously suffered from many things, but one of them was not having kind of a central brain, a cohesive thread that kind of took the story in a direction. We've got Deborah Chow here directing all the episodes of Kenobi. And obviously with this team here, it's setting up to be something pretty special, something phenomenal, I hope. But I mean, starting next week, we're going to be talking Kenobi on Saturdays, Scarif Live. So that is going to be exciting. I'm biting my nails because it's nerve-wracking, man.
Yeah.
I'm
six episodes to tell the story now.
Yeah. And, I feel that everything that we've seen in these trailers has been, early on. So I can't imagine what comes after. Really looking forward to seeing, that silhouette back here again.
I'm looking forward to the Inquisitors, man. Like, I always thought that the Order of the Inquisitors was a brilliant concept. So I'm looking forward to seeing them on screen as well.
Yeah, speaking of Inquisitors, another thing that was brought up, actor Rupert Friend said that he didn't watch anything with his character in it. He didn't want it, I guess, his performance to be tainted. But what do you guys think about that? Because the Clone Wars, the animated series, obviously, that his character came from, is the only, I guess, reference to that character. Obviously, we had seen other species in the prequels of his people, I guess. But what do you guys think about the actor not wanting to, infect his performance? Do you think that that's a good idea, or will it create further divide of the fans that want to see a particular aspect of this character, obviously from knowing him from the animation?
Yeah. So the Grand Inquisitor, if I'm not mistaken, and I hadn't seen Rebels in a little bit, but his presence is most felt in the first season. I think that's really the only season he's in. And while I wish you'd go back and watch it, I mean, come on, please, like it's your character, man. I mean, this is who he's going to become. We do know that he is he's a he was a temple guard for the Jedi. We know that. But he was kind of he was a flat villain for me, I think, in that first season of Rebels. Now, I don't think that's an excuse to not go back and watch his his character in Rebels, but hopefully John and Deborah Chow and Dave can get on it and just steer him right. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how much. Well, I mean, this if depends on who else on the creative team. I think I'm not sure how much of an impact it's going to have on the show. I think his most important line was the one right before he died, where he said, "I think there are fates or there are things in this world worse than death." You know, very cryptic, dark thing, especially for a quote unquote kids show. And the look in his eyes when he said there are things worse than death.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if that's going to be incorporated at all into this show, but I would think it'd be important to know that he said stuff like that in the show. And if he does the job, you know, if it's a job well done, then everybody's going to let that quote go. But if he sucks at this, or if that character falls flat, you know, he's going to regret, you know, not having watched. He's going to catch hell for it later on.
Yeah. I think the Jedi of Chicago in the comments said it best. He says it doesn't really bug me that he didn't watch them. I just think he would have been better off keeping his mouth quiet about the whole thing. Yeah, I agree. Like, you go on screen and the Grand Inquisitor is this awesome character, then no one's going to care. They're going to be like, oh, whatever, he said that quote. But like Brad was saying, man, if it goes bad, like, they're gonna rip it to shreds. The Star Wars fandom are notorious for ripping things to shreds, even things that are good. I mean, we like chaos, man.
We wouldn't know what to talk about unless, you know.
I'm looking at the monitors in this picture. There's a technician there holding one of those silver balls that they measure reflection and stuff. What did you guys think of two things? There is a new Volkswagen commercial that is Kenobi centric, but it has R2 and 3PO in it, and this has gotten the world buzzing as far as does this hint that our favorite droids are somehow going to be in this?
So they got more screen time on there than they did in the whole sequel trilogy, is what you're saying?
Exactly. What do you think? Are we going to, you know, and obviously Anthony Daniels has been known for playing 3PO in everything. He's in the Legos. He's in, you know, he was in Rogue One. I don't find it objectionable to see if somehow they can kind of incorporate the droids in there, but it's almost like, and I don't want this to happen. I guess it's fun, but I don't want R2 and 3PO to be the Stan Lee of Star Wars, where Stan Lee is like pops up everywhere.
Yeah.
If you know, again, if it makes sense, okay, it's really nice to, you know, kind of see them. And you know, getting back to the George Lucas quote that he has said that Star Wars is told from their perspective, R2 and 3PO, so it would kind of make sense and bring everything back to, you know, to that quote. But what do you guys think? Are we going to see the droids in there because of, or are we going to see a Volkswagen drive by?
Well, if there's those, so what I would be excited about is if those droids are in it, then that might mean another Bail Organa.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, Jimmy Smits, I think, loves playing Bail Organa.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you have those two droids, they're either working for him or for Leia. You know, at that time. So I'd be, I mean, it, you know, from Rogue One, it doesn't sound like, well, Bail Organa would have kept any communique that he had with Obi-Wan on the down low anyway.
Right.
Rogue One made it sound like he hadn't talked to him since episode 3, but hey, I will always take a Bail Organa or anybody from the Organa family, you know, cameo.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I'm with you, Ro. I don't want to see them throw.
Oh, Jimmy Smits is confirmed. I didn't even know that. That is,
yeah, he is
fantastic. Well, there you go.
Yeah, he is confirmed. Yeah, Bail Organa is going to be in this series. I think at least even a little bit. So it would make sense to see them. So I wouldn't be upset to see R2 and 3PO. That really hadn't crossed my mind at this point. I hadn't seen that commercial. I have to go look at it.
Oh yeah, it's really well done.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm with you guys. If it makes sense, throw them in there. I like seeing callbacks to the originals and to the prequels, and they are the two most important droids in all of Star Wars. I mean, bar none. And going back to the Anthony Daniels thing, I don't think anyone can play 3PO but Anthony Daniels, because I personally am a man of many voices. I like to do voices of different characters and this, that, and the other. And I cannot pin down a 3PO. I just can't. And his mannerisms, and he's so great at it. And I don't know. I can't see anyone else doing it. So I'd love to see Anthony Daniels back as 3PO.
Absolutely.
One of my favorite interviews with him is where he said where he got the job originally. You know, he talks about having seen the concept art for C-3PO and R2 up on the wall, and he said it just spoke to him, and ever since then he, like you said, he is the voice.
Yeah. So we hope he never gets recast or deep faked. But speaking of this other comment in the article by Kathleen Kennedy talking about Solo and some lessons that they learned from the Solo film. What'd you guys think of that? It almost seems like she threw Alden under the bus.
Much ado about nothing.
All right.
I mean, she. Okay, so it's always weird hearing things coming from an executive. Well, it's weird to hear a failure being admitted by an executive. She was, in my opinion, we all said this before Solo even came out, that it's Harrison Ford's character. I texted you this the other day, Ro. Just Luke Skywalker belongs to Mark Hamill. Mm-hmm. Right? These are, Leia is Carrie Fisher. And it's no discredit to another actor trying to play them. They are just the word icon has a meaning, right? They have become icons. So I don't see her as throwing him as an actor under the bus. I don't think that she, is blaming him for the failure there. She's just saying, hey, that idea that we had didn't work. So you can see how they changed that with the deep fake technology, with using Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker and the men, and that turned out great.
People were nuts.
Now they could have expounded, I think, a little bit more in that area of the article. Obviously, there were so many things that went wrong with the Solo movie. Changing directions, over 75% done changing directions. I think it was over 90% done. Right. Changing directions, changing directors, the timing of it, which was shortly after episode 8, I believe, just 5 months after that came out. The timing was off on it. Everything. They could have gone into more of that, but I think she was stating the obvious in this case. No lover of Kathleen Kennedy and how she runs things, but in this case, I think it's bogus to say she's throwing him under the bus.
Yeah, I'm with Brad on this one. I really am. I don't think she's really throwing him under the bus. I think she's kind of like just saying, hey, it didn't work out. And the Jedi of Chicago, me and the Jedi of Chicago are going to be friends, because it's another quote, another comment. Solo isn't a bad movie. It's just a story that we really didn't need to be told. My problem with Solo is that I love the mystery behind Han Solo.
Yeah.
And of course, if you read Legends and stuff, they flesh that out. It's a whole different thing. But in A New Hope, when you meet Han Solo, he's got the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs. He's got the I've been everywhere and done everything, man. That kind of attitude. Like, he's just a bad dude. Like, he's cool. Yeah. And a part of that coolness is the mystique, is the, like, we don't know what really happened. That is part of what makes Han Solo an awesome character. And I wish I don't know. I don't think it's a bad movie. but there's some things I wish they would leave left untold.
Yeah, I think so. Can you and Ro, can you pull up Dave's comment there? Because you and I actually talked about this, a couple days ago. So I wasn't a big fan of Lando. I mean, I thought he did. Glover did a decent job at Lando. But there are just a few cases on the three that you mentioned. Obviously, Ewan McGregor has made Obi-Wan his character. I got nothing for you. Like, he just freaking nailed it from episode 1 to present. Mon Mothma, she's done an amazing job. But the character we'll get back to that. I was going to say
for 5 seconds.
Well, and then Jan Dodonna, I did not like who they casted for him in Rogue One. It didn't even look like him. So I think they did a poor job on that. But what were you saying about Mon Mothma?
Oh, I was just going to say, I mean, Mon Mothma's in the movie for a few minutes. I mean, I wouldn't consider her a legacy character. She's in the movie. It's like saying, oh yeah, I mean that the guys in the bar in A New Hope, I can't think of their name right now. The guys who Obi-Wan cuts off his arm in the bar. Oh yeah, if they recast those, I'm never watching the movies again. Like, that's dumb. Like, Mon Mothma's in the movie for maybe a minute and a half talking about the Bothans and how much they sacrificed. That was it. So I mean, recasting her, whatever.
But they recast her with somebody younger to play her at that time, and I think Genevieve, forgot the last name. I think she did marvelous. I think she did great. She
looks and sounds like her.
Yeah, it does sound like they kind of went back in time and grabbed her from the world between worlds and brought her into the present to shoot this stuff. And she became a fan favorite.
Yeah, and Danny, and Blake's really saying it here. It's not really the acting of the recasting. It's, we didn't need this story to begin with. That's where he went with the old Western theme, right? The Star Wars was supposed to be a Western romance set in space, and when you have a character like Solo, a guy who shoots first and maybe doesn't even ask a question later, the point is you're not supposed to have their backstory. You're supposed to get their backstory from little tidbits, things people say around them, and maybe those even conflict with each other. Maybe and so you don't know which one's their real history. And that's the kind of character we didn't need that. I don't think it's any discredit to any of the actors in that movie. I think they did the best job with what they were handed.
Sure.
No, I like what you said there, Brad. I mean, because we get Han Solo's backstory from himself, where he says, "I did this and this. Haven't you ever heard the Millennium Falcon?" Blah blah blah. And then we get kind of Lando's side of it, where he's just a scum buddy of his from back in the day, and then you kind of get, oh yeah, dude, they were just running spice and doing whatever back in the day. Yeah, I totally agree.
I'm going to push back a little bit because I see this argument often. It's a story we didn't need to be told. But as a Star Wars fan and as someone who loves these legacy characters, I would love to see as much as I can. I mean, hell, the guy that runs out on Bespin in Empire Strikes Back holding the ice cream maker, I want a series on him.
Don't give them any ideas. I mean,
the point I'm making is I don't understand the argument. That's the story it didn't need to be told.
I mean, I think the character, like a villain.
Yeah, but you can still do it. You can still present it in a way, like you said. If somehow the story was not as and I can totally understand. Solo's got that weird thing with the Imperial officer. Who are your people? I'm alone. Okay, Solo.
Well, that's just poor writing.
That was kind of goofy, but like I see it in the chat. Solo was not a bad movie overall. There are worse Star Wars movies.
It's one of my son's favorite movies. I mean, there's a niche for it.
Yeah. And what I love to see another Solo. I mean, I think the article kind of dispels the rumor that we probably won't see another Solo anytime soon. So bye-bye to the hashtag. What was that hashtag? Make another Solo also as well too.
Yes.
Whatever.
Yes. Dave Solo or something. Yeah.
But it's tragic. I would love to see another Solo movie, something that picks up at the end of this, where he's talking about going to see a guy about a job. I mean, Solo's an interesting character when you put him in the confines of his smuggling, of his his criminal activity, avoiding the Empire, and maybe helping out one or two people along the way. I think that's what makes Solo such a that's one of the things that makes Solo such an interesting thing.
And I was just gonna say, I don't know what it is about Solo, because like you said, I love learning about all these other characters, their background. Like Obi-Wan, I'd love to see everything Obi-Wan when the Legends went into Obi-Wan and kind of picked up, like he was a Padawan that failed and no one wanted him, and Qui-Gon. I loved all that stuff, but there's just something about Solo, man. Something about Han Solo that I like the mystery around him. I don't know. I don't know. It's just me, I guess. And I guess Brad.
I mean,
that's fine.
If you look at the comments of all the other characters about Solo, he's not even that good of a smuggler. I mean, so he drops his load a lot around the galaxy, and he owes the guys money in episode 7 and everything else. So man, I'm trying to get some hate. I haven't been hated on Twitter in a while, so I'm just trying to get some hate. Solo wasn't a very.
Now
good smuggler.
I really would like to see like a Maul story, like where he's running Crimson Dawn and all that. That'd be neat. Maybe animated or something. I'd like to see him running his crime organization.
That is the bad thing about this in general. We got a really nice cliffhanger that we're not going to see explored in a subsequent film. I mean, obviously we got comic books afterwards, and Bounty Hunters, the Tale of the Bounty Hunters came out, and the Crimson Dawn, et cetera, et cetera. But it's a shame that we won't see it anytime soon in movie form, because I think if Solo, if that first story, if that first movie was something that was a story that we didn't need, I think Solo Part 2 and 3 would definitely have been structured as a story we'd like to see at least. So it's too bad. And obviously, there are other factors like Brad, like you mentioned, that had Solo kind of fighting for air there.
Yeah.
It was
a failure to launch from the beginning, and just want to thank everybody in the chat. Had some really good conversation going on there. And Blake, I hadn't even thought about. We've talked about a live action Underworld type thing, but I hadn't even considered an animated version of that. But seeing basically the Bounty Hunter Wars, or seeing the Hutts and the Crimson Dawn going at it in animated format, I think that would be. I mean, Sam Witwer, screaming Kenobi every other episode. I mean, I'm for no reason whatsoever. I'm here for it.
Kenobi, but you're in the ice cream story guy. Yeah, but definitely some of the characters in Solo. One thing that I did hear is that Solo was good. People were really interested in all the other characters not named Solo in the Solo movie.
Yeah.
And I do find that truthful when it comes to my enjoyment of Solo. I didn't really enjoy Alden as Han Solo because, like you said, Harrison Ford is Han Solo. But I think, Chewie really stole the show.
They killed Favreau's character, and that's the only one I liked in the whole thing.
Yeah.
He was the coolest one in there.
So, we got a space train heist.
Okay. We got some cool toys out of it. We got some cool black.
We got that in Book of Boba Fett too.
Yeah. Merchandising. So, I guess that last part is beyond the controversy of Solo, is moving on from the Skywalker saga, and are we ready to move on from the Skywalker saga?
Another quote. I think we've been kind of moving away from the Skywalker saga. I mean, you know, right after the sequel trilogy, we did get those new books, the High Republic. There was no Skywalker in that, and that was a big project for them, for Star Wars Publishing. You know, we've got the Mandalorian, season 1. There was no Skywalker in that. You know, these that comment is interesting. I don't know where it's coming from. I think maybe starting from ground zero at this point, staying away from the Skywalker saga, but you know, we still have Kenobi, and there's a Skywalker in that. So I'm not really sure what she means by that specifically.
I mean, I think the point was there's lots of stories. It's a big galaxy out there, and there's lots of stories to tell. I'm okay with the Skywalker saga being however many chapters of a larger story. There's still plenty of mysteries of the Force out there. There's still plenty of Star Wars, Wars in the Stars to be had.
This is a good one from Semperfi. Unpopular opinion here, but really I don't want them to really ever fully move away from the Skywalker saga.
I mean, I can see it.
I mean, somebody early on tweeted that Star Wars is the Skywalker saga, but I think how many more stories can we kind of jam pack in this area too? I mean,
the only pushback I have on that is, I mean, read Legends. I mean, a big part of it is the Skywalker saga. I mean, even up through the main part of it that people like to read or about really the Skywalkers. But I mean, you have all the stuff that happens before the Republic and the opening days of the Republic, the Sith back in when there was thousands of Sith and there was a Sith. There are so many stories to be told, and Legends kind of disproves that. I mean, people will read stuff that doesn't have anything to do without the Skywalkers. They'll watch stuff that has nothing to do with the Skywalkers. I'm one of those people. I love the Skywalker saga. I like those characters, and of course, that's where it all started. I mean, obviously, we're going to have an attachment to that, but there are other stories and other stories that can be told well, and other stories that have done well. I mean, look at Revan, look at Darth Bane. I mean, look at characters like that. Those are characters that are fan favorites. Even Thrawn really doesn't have much to do with the Skywalker saga, other than Luke Skywalker fought him in the books, and now he really didn't have much to do with the Skywalkers in canon. So there's a lot of material out there that we can move to that people will gravitate towards that has nothing to do with the Skywalker saga.
So yeah, I totally agree. But you know, Star Wars is a story about hope, and that hope, you know, just happens to be Luke Skywalker. It is the thread that you know, that goes along every Star Wars story, for better or for worse. But I think, you know, obviously it started with A New Hope. I don't know where it's going to end up. But yeah, an interesting article nonetheless. We got some really interesting tidbits. I think I took a lot more out of it because I picked apart some things and I was watching how other people interpreted some of the things that were said in the article. This very long article. If you haven't read it, you know, head on over to vanityfair.com and check it out. Final thoughts, because I know right after us, we got the Dork Wars podcast that hopefully everybody in the chat, once we are done here, you guys head over to Dork Wars and the conversation will continue with Blake.
Oh, yeah.
Final thoughts.
Well, Dale just, you know, posted Rey Palpatine Skywalker. I just want to mention that I wrote an article years ago about how she was the daughter of Luke and the granddaughter of Obi-Wan. And that's the way it should have been from the very beginning. Would have made sense based off the vision she had in episode 7. And then the Skywalker saga would have actually continued if Rey was an Obi-Wan or a Kenobi Skywalker. But still, and we said at the top, let's not take ourselves too seriously. I know we love our saga. I know that's why we're all here talking about it. I know that's why we're all chatting. All right, but let's not take ourselves. Do not have row level expectations when you watch Obi-Wan for the first time. Just try to take a deep breath and try to enjoy it as a piece of Star Wars fiction. It's going to be amazing. Just let it play out. I know some people have already probably chalked it up for a loss because it's Disney Plus. That's okay. But just remember Obi-Wan comes out May 27th, as does Stranger Things. Season 4 comes out the same day. You have all kinds of nerd shit to consume. So, I mean, be entertained by. So just enjoy it.
I'm going to enjoy it. But 6 days, and the following Saturday, up until its end, Brad and I and hopefully Shanti will be on. We'd love to invite folks that aren't usually on camera with us. Maybe somebody that doesn't podcast or create any content. We'd love to have you on camera and talk about Kenobi when it comes out next Saturday. We've got a couple of slots still open. So why don't you? I know I love
auditions. We should hold
auditions. Yeah, right.
Put videos on Twitter, because every time we try to get people to do stuff, nobody ever does it. But hey, we'll try it again. Make a video for us.
That's why I just started, mailing out random stickers and prizes, because
we can't give it away.
Can't give it away. Yeah. Excellent. Guys, everybody in the chat, you guys have been wonderful. This has been really, really great conversation. If you have different thoughts about what we said tonight, shoot us an email at scarifscuttlebutt@gmail.com, or send us a voicemail. We might be able to use it in an upcoming show. The voicemail number on the Scarif Scuttlebutt hotline is 773-234-8659. Write it down, put it in your favorites. And I do want to do a special shout out to one of our followers, Mal the Wook. He or she did not want to come on the show or the chat because he thought that we were going to do a whole bunch of Kathleen Kennedy bashing, but I told him that we are not that type of podcast, and I hope we demonstrated that tonight. We like to hashtag enjoy Star Wars responsibly and just geek out with the stuff that we love. When we cut ourselves, we bleed Star Wars. Isn't that right, Brad?
That's okay, right.
No. I'm talking about drugs and cutting myself. What the hell is going on, man? I do not condone any of that.
Don't forget your Dramamine.
Excellent. Everybody in the chat, you guys have been wonderful. Final thoughts, Brad, you want to take it away? What's going on here, man?
Just a reminder that this podcast is brought to you by Scarif Sweetener. 9 out of 10 Imperials use Scarif in their calf, and so should you. And that's the Scuttlebutt.
And that's a reference that I misspelled the graphic in the YouTube.
I said that's a Scuttlebutt. That's the end, bro. Cut.